What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word? Hummingbird. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of The Real Housewives of New Jersey Reunion Season 12. Okay, y'all, this reunion was very, very, very infuriating to me. I do not like Teresa. I have tried for 12 years. Or 12 seasons, however they do it. I have tried to be on Teresa's team. And every time that I give her the benefit of the doubt, she completely obliterates any hope of me siding with her. This reunion was, she looked so awful to me. So awful. I don't understand how this woman can live with herself being the way that she is. And I don't understand why Jennifer could co-sign to anything that Teresa does or says. Anyways, let's get into it. So there's going to be a Nashville set, because I guess the most memorable scenes happen in Nashville. The theme for their outfits is gold metallic. I'm not a fashionista, so I can't get into the fashions on what is what. I don't really care, because I just want to get into the heart of this review. But everybody had on gold metallic dresses, outfits, whatever. Oh, I'm not a fashionista, but let me tell you this. I didn't like Teresa's outfit. Teresa's outfit to me looked a damn fool. It looked like just a bodysuit with some glass glued to it. That's what it looked like to me. I was not impressed by that, like the way Andy was. So we find out that Teresa and Louis are engaged. We also find out when Teresa went to the hospitals because she had to have emergency appendix surgery. And also, what's her name? Took out her chin implant, Jennifer. So first is the Dolores versus Jennifer fight. Okay, I don't really care about Dolores and Jennifer. The whole issue is like whether or not Dolores was actually a friend of Jennifer or not. Dolores says she was. Jennifer says she was not a real friend to her. Dolores telling Jennifer to stop crying. They talked about that. Even Teresa said that was just Dolores' way of telling Jennifer to be strong. She wasn't trying to shame her about crying or trying to tell her that people shouldn't cry or anything like that. And Dolores said, we even had a conversation over the phone where Jennifer specifically told me to tell her to stop crying if I ever caught her crying. So then the whole thing they talked about Jackie, what she said about Nabil when he said that he was, sticking his, into other people. Teresa says that was very unladylike, or it wasn't very classy of Jackie to use that language, when Teresa herself has used some very offensive language. For example, the see you next Tuesday. She likes throwing that word around. I don't know. I don't understand why Teresa was saying that Jackie wasn't classy when she herself is like the most unclassy woman on that stage. Teresa said that Jackie wasn't strong because she cried at some point during the season. And I'm thinking to myself, but you and your cohort over there just got on Dolores' case for telling Jennifer not to cry. But now Teresa was telling Jackie that, because Jackie had said that I'm the strongest woman you'll ever meet. And then Teresa says, no, you're not, because you cried this season or something like that. So Teresa's love bubble. She hasn't had a fight. She says her and Louis have not had a single fight, which I find that hard to believe. They don't fight because, I take it back. Maybe it is believable. They don't fight because Teresa just agrees with whatever Louis says. Whatever Louis wants, she just goes along with it. That's why they don't fight. She doesn't go against him. She doesn't oppose him in any way. She says that he doesn't yell and he doesn't curse. I don't believe that at all. Teresa said that she wasn't in love with Joe Giudice when she got married to him, but she's definitely in love with Louis. And Joe Giudice, she said, they asked her, well, what does he think about you being engaged? She said that Joe Giudice is very happy for her. Teresa won't talk about if she signed a prenup. She says that Louis has more money than her. I find that hard to believe. And Andy encourages her to sign a prenup. Then they talk about the engagement party that she had. Only Jennifer and Melissa were invited. Dolores was not, which I thought was awful of Teresa to not invite Dolores. And I don't understand why she wouldn't, because I understood why obviously she wouldn't invite Margaret, why she wouldn't invite Jackie. But what the hell did Dolores? The only thing that I could think of why she wouldn't invite Dolores is if she asked Jennifer if it was okay to invite Dolores, and Jennifer said no. Dolores says that she was okay with not being invited to the engagement party, but she says that she was hurt when people would ask her about it initially. It did hurt her, but on this reunion, she's going to put on like a really strong face and act like it didn't faze her at all. That, she kept on saying, I just want you to be happy, Teresa. And I thought maybe if Teresa has any type of humanity, somewhere deep down in her soul and her heart, she has to feel a little bit bad for not inviting Dolores, because Dolores has always stood up for Teresa, always stood up for her, always defended Teresa. She's one of those people that I kind of had an issue with this season, because she was always one of those people that was always trying to gauge, how is Teresa feeling today? Because, Teresa's temperament is going to determine what kind of day we have. That's the kind of person that Dolores was. She was always really concerned about, Teresa's emotions and how Teresa was feeling. And so that's horrible of you, Teresa, for not inviting Dolores to your engagement party when she has been a big proponent and a big supporter of you. When Teresa has shoved all that stuff on Margaret at the restaurant, Dolores wanted to leave with Teresa until Frank told her that she had to stay and pay the bill. So that's just awful, Teresa, that you did that to Dolores. And I think it's because of Jennifer. Jennifer, you're an awful person. I don't like Jennifer either. I really don't like Jennifer. I have some very choice things to say about Jennifer that I'm going to refrain from saying because it's going to be completely out of character for me to say those kind of things about someone. But Jennifer, girl, I don't like you. I don't like you at all. I don't like you. And I think that the friendship between Jennifer and Teresa it's not even based on true friendship. It's just based on Teresa, first of all, I don't think can be a real friend to anybody. She's just like, she just can't be. I don't think she can be a real friend to anybody. I think that she's very self-centered. I think she thinks that the whole world revolves around her. She's the one that's going to be judging on who can be a good friend to her, but she don't really care about being a good friend to anybody else. Then they go to the whole topic of the bridesmaids. Teresa will have her new sister-in-laws stand in as her bridesmaids. She's not going to have Melissa. And Teresa says that, she didn't ask Melissa to be a bridesmaids because they don't double date with Louis. She also said about Dolores. She said the reason why she did not want to invite Dolores to the engagement party is because they don't double date with Dolores, because Dolores isn't seeing anyone or some stupid reason. I'm like, what? You don't double date with these people? That's why you don't invite them to anything? Like, Teresa, oh my God. So Teresa says that we don't double date. And Jennifer says, well, because you're a lot closer to Margaret than you are to Teresa. And Melissa said it's got nothing to do with that. If you're all about family, then you're all about family. Either you're about family or you're not about family. Me being friends with Margaret has nothing to do with anything. Because sisters invite each other to things, even though they have their own best friends. So I don't understand. I didn't get it. So the seating arrangement at the engagement party, they were not, Melissa and Joe were not seated with the bridal party. They were sat, they were off in the distance somewhere. And Melissa said that, she didn't make a big deal about that, but, why was it like that? And Teresa said that she didn't make the seating arrangement, but it's your engagement party. You have the right to decide where you want people to sit. So stop blaming other people. This is completely your fault. Pregnant Teresa. So then Teresa talked about how, what's her name? Melissa said, you were a bridesmaid at my wedding. And Teresa said, yeah, and I was pregnant too at the time. And she was trying to say that, or what she meant was that she didn't like the fact that Melissa did not postpone her wedding until after she had her baby, until after Teresa had her baby. So she was in the wedding party 8 months pregnant. And she felt like Melissa should have postponed her wedding to accommodate her having her baby. This is the kind of person Teresa is. Joe Gorga. So they bring Joe Gorga out. They asked Joe they asked Joe if he was going to be in the wedding party, and Teresa said that Joe was invited. He did want Joe in his wedding party, but Joe is on the fence about that. And Teresa said, yeah, it's because Melissa's not a bridesmaid. Yeah, he has every right to stand by his wife's side because, the wife is not a bridesmaid. Teresa says that, Louis calls Joe all the time. And Joe says, yeah, he calls me to talk about the show. Not because, we're best buds or anything like that. Andy was asking Joe Gorga questions. And every single time that Joe tried to answer, Teresa would overtalk him. Like she's afraid of what he might say. Teresa... And then at the end of it all, Teresa was calling Joe out of his name, calling him, what did she call him? She called him a bitch boy. Jennifer called him a bitch boy or a bitch girl. And I'm thinking to myself, and you're classy? You consider yourself classy? You called your own brother that, and you're classy? You're a classy woman? I don't know what it is, but when Teresa and Jennifer get together, they're like a couple of thugs. They're like a couple of alley cats. The way that they want to argue, the way that they cuss people out, the language that they use is awful. I just don't understand how it was. I had to take a shower after watching this reunion. It was that god awful. Teresa, Jennifer, I absolutely cannot stomach these two women. Teresa, you're awful. You are absolutely awful. The things that you say to Margaret, because they were like 5 minutes in and she was already cussing Margaret out. F you constantly to Margaret. Jennifer cussing up a storm like some kind of a crazy alley cat. The things that they said about Joe Gorga, the things that they said to Joe Gorga. Teresa, you didn't invite Dolores because you don't double date with her and her dude or whatever the hell was going on there. You didn't invite your sister-in-law. I don't know what to say. I would just, based on this one reunion, I would hope that Melissa and Joe have nothing to do with Teresa ever again. Period. Gutter trash. That's what they are, Teresa and Jennifer. Gutter trash. Just awful. Thank you so much for joining me in this review. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to rate the video on your way out. If you like this content, please don't forget to subscribe. If you don't like it, perfectly okay. Thank you for stopping by anyway, and I will talk to you later.